of the nation. We're coming at you with an emergency episode this evening following on recent developments involving an early general election motion currently happening in Parliament in the next 4 minutes. We have a selection of interesting guests to discuss the ongoing events, and we're starting with Pokezilla369 for a more neutral perspective of what we're going to see in the next hour.
So
Hello,
nice.
how are you?
Good, mate. So nice to invite me twice.
How has your evening been?
My evening was great. I had a big jack potato, and it was very nice. And I ate it all because I'm a fat bastard.
That is great to hear.
Yeah, I know. We're inside otherwise.
So, Bush, do you want to give us a bit of a recap for those who don't know what happened over the past 24 hours?
Well, it has been an eventful 24 hours. We've seen, we started with the Vonk attempt, which was supposedly successful, but really a bit of a sham. Then the revote recently failed to 9-2, according to the Electoral Commission, who were asked to take over the vote. We're now moving on to the early day motion that was proposed before all of this, before the almost collapse of the government. The early day motion to call an early general election, I believe, proposed by the Social Democrat bench. So
that is interesting. It's almost like the Unionist barn is on fire right now. They've got so much going on in there internally, and I think that's important to talk about first. So, Pokezilla, can you give us your insights on what you think the barn is like right now?
I mean, it's not great when we're led by a chairman who no one fucking knows. Who is Gustav Deling? I said this yesterday. Who is that man?
that was my
He's the chairman apparently, and I cannot say to you what he actually has done. I don't know who that man is.
Independent exclusive is that guy was the UGK head campaigner. Really
Yeah, I have what it is.
makes me wonder how he rose to such an important position in the.
And also why, because considering the fact that they hated Forward UK. So why, I don't know why they appointed that guy, who was one of their Forward UK's biggest assets, obviously. Why would they appoint the chairman?
A defection offer, possibly.
Potentially like get like capitalism of a defection, but you gotta assess your risks when you're when you're a leader and appoint people to these like massive positions. Because a chairman is a massive position. You can we see that yesterday. You can have real power as a party chairman. You can't just make anyone party chairman. You got to have vetting at least.
Yeah.
And you probably don't put a campaign lead of your biggest rival less than a week ago. Probably not a great idea, as we've seen.
Can only
Yeah, I think the Vonk came from Drac710, former Chancellor, who was fired yesterday night by the Prime Minister for failing to propose a budget. So,
I would not be surprised. Classic case of revenge, probably, is what I'm assuming.
We saw that one will go down, but we saw today quite literally waving the white flag in a #unionist party from Drac.
Yeah, he seems to have given up, hasn't he? Michael M. Rothschild was too powerful for him. But we will see Michael M. Rothschild resigning this weekend either way, as he says in government. So hopefully we'll have some Unionist Party representatives on later in the episode so we can discuss who we think might be going for leader. But what are the two of you's thoughts? Do you have any names in mind for who might be standing?
We had Harold on yesterday, didn't we? And he said, given enough time to sort of prepare, he'd take up the role. But he's now been confirmed by the party board as the man to take over interim leader when Michael resigns. So we could definitely see him continue that role out, and I think he'd do a very good job of it. But
I think he should do.
Just quickly, we will be transferring over to our live feed from the House of Commons to watch as this early day motion unfolds there. Wow, what a smooth transition, I must say.
They're all currently standing up for the national anthem. Like patriots.
True patriots they are. So what do we think's any thoughts on what we think's gonna sort of take place at this early day motion? You know,
I think it all depends on what the pirates gonna do.
mm,
That's what it matters. I mean, we're obviously us and the Nationals are obviously gonna vote against, obviously vote for it. Sorry, and you obviously vote against it.
we've got
So it's really the pirates that decide this, and I reckon they'll probably vote against it. To be honest with you.
yeah, we've got a solid government bench today for a non-mandatory session. Maybe the Social Democrats are lacking a little.
Oh wait, mate, what is going on here? There's actually more attendance today for a non-mandatory session. Fun fact, than yesterday, which was a mandatory session.
That is quite poor, isn't it?
Yeah, that's peak House of Commons. That is.
Mm.
Well, the annoying thing is, I think that the opposition must be thinking is, if they had all their benches tonight, they could fail this. The government only have, what is it, like 11 MPs? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 MPs. So,
I mean, it requires 2/3 to pass. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
oh,
and
it
there's only
does, yeah.
13 opposition members because of
Yeah.
gone. So.
Because of the Forward UK have been.
We still should have more than 4 though. Like, come on, like, I'm not involved in any of this because I obviously told you yesterday I'm not exactly involved in that sort of stuff anymore in Social Democrats. But like, we should have more than 4. Come on.
Wow, a lovely speech from Terminal Plus there.
I must say, though, the Social Democrat bench and National benches are looking quite embarrassing tonight. There's not
Well,
very
we
many
do have to
people.
remember that they've got 7 and 6 seats respectively, so
7? Really?
7 Social Democrats.
I thought it was
7.
6.
It's 7 including Dean, and then
Oh,
it's
yeah.
6 excluding him.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, I think
6
actually, to be honest, national attendance isn't too bad. They've got
let's panic.
5 MPs here, but
Nationals are good.
That's
Attendance wise.
4 and 5 is not too bad.
I mean, it's 4 out of 5, and it's 4 out of 6, which is not. It's not horrendous, really. For
how Michael Rothschild is here when he's supposedly at war.
this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to look like when you're missing 15 seats from the House. Because we're still waiting for the by-elections from Forward UK.
Yeah, well, we'll
Just-
definitely see what happens there if we get
So
to
it's
that
gonna-
stage.
If we do.
We haven't really seen the major parties comment on, their opinions just yet of the opportunity for an early election, but we've seen some, issues unfold within the government that maybe suggests
Yeah.
it could be coming this way.
I'm quite surprised with it because the Pirates are quite. I mean, not even quite. The Pirates were very pro-unionist, in the last election. So I'm quite surprised it's actually
Well, I mean,
not.
I would be more surprised. I think there was quite a bit of controversy in the Pirate Party board, as I know that they actually failed. The Pirate Party board failed the first attempt at the three-way coalition. And they had to revote a couple of times before they actually came to the conclusion on the terms that they're currently in. So I don't think
I haven't
they
heard
were
that
actually
before.
too keen on forming with Unionist Party,
would say
especially
that-
with
that-
the fact that it's 11 seats. So it's kind of a bit tricky.
I definitely think
It's
that
fake.
the 11 seats thing is very interesting because I don't think the Pirate Party are in the position where they probably know if an election is called today, they're probably going to come out on top. And we've seen this sort of cause issues in the past. The last, government I can think that was on equal seats was, of course, ZC and Senescence, which, lasted even less.
What a government! What a government!
What a government.
Best government ever.
Well, if it gets the man his former PM title, it gets it there.
I mean, to be fair, me and Callum, our government was 26 seats.
I don't know, I think we've definitely
Which we were actually, all 3 of us were a part of that government, believe it or
I think
not.
we've seen governments sort of try their best to shy away from that 26 number. It's, King's Speech votes have just become so volatile in, the recent last few elections and
Yeah.
state.
Even if you have a low majority of like 3 or 4 seats nowadays. That's not even secure anymore. I mean, we saw it last when Lytton's term when they failed a King's Speech
And they were
with
on
like
like
I don't know how,
they had about
what
28
was
seats or something like that.
yeah
That
it's
wasn't
like that they
really
lost it.
Mm.
I still don't know how you do that. How I don't know how you
That was
spur that,
admit
but
it,
like come
that
on.
was a lot of careful planning. From the
yeah,
both sides to
we
fail
had
that speech.
From the
yeah,
contested
we had
speech, wink,
whipped
wink.
people on the other side to get into
It,
that.
it took a lot of effort, but it happened.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, Termina Plus has finished his speech, talking about
Bush,
the mandate of
I've just got
Parliament.
word in that we might be getting a representative from the new forming Albion Party.
Oh, what?
Ooh,
Oh, hooray!
that's quite disappointing news.
So that is
I'm sure all looking forward to that.
Okay, we've got Michael M. Rothschild's first response to the early day motion from Termina Plus,
Michael
the
M.
Social Democrat. Let's take a listen.
Oh, he's going the forward route. Interesting.
It's a very interesting one. He's basing his argument off something that's developed today. Um, but
the barn being the House of Parliament is going crazy tonight.
right,
I
that's a bit
think
ridiculous, isn't it?
Michael M. Rothschild really getting his whip on the barn right now.
I think I'm not a big fan of Michael's argument here, I have to be honest. Using the threat that the Albion Party might just register as a reason to not call an early election. I'm not sure what you guys think about it, but I think maybe he's clutching at straws here.
The Albion Party's got football in it. That kind of summarises their intelligence, I think.
Maybe
Well, they
Persian
don't
involved.
actually have a leader as of
No, they
current.
don't.
Do they not?
I can confirm that earlier this morning, Football 9678 asked me if I wanted to be the leader of the Albion Party, which I can inform the public that I did say no to that.
What?
Wow,
This guy, man.
a true patriot, stepping away from the Albion Party. I know it would have been
I
a
would say
huge promotion
this
for you.
speech isn't one of Michael's best speeches.
No, it feels a bit rushed.
Yeah, it's like he hasn't got his whole heart in the job anymore.
I think the barn's collapsing and he's just saying a few
Uh,
words.
What's it? It's
yeah.
fucking barn, though. It's fucking
It's
barn.
Trying to win myself some Robux, to be completely honest.
it's a metaphor for the state of the commons.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Fremont.
Yeah.
Zaid is on top of me.
That's an interesting comment to make. Bloody man.
He
And
wants
you know who else
that.
we have in Parliament tonight? We do have Love Inks, former Pirate MP, banned for racism.
Okay.
In the gallery.
Okay. Let's not go too far.
Oh god. Poor love, man. I don't think that's poor love. I don't know the situation.
Okay, Pokezilla. I've got
Okay,
one more
please.
question for you before we bring a new guest on, and that is I want to hear your thoughts about the two emerging possible parties, the Albion Party and the Phoenix Party. Do you think they're going to register? Do you think the ESA will happen? What do you think would happen if they did?
The Albion Party is not registering. I don't think it will because I mean it hasn't got a leader, so that's a bit of a problem for a new party.
Bit of a giveaway, that one.
Yeah, it's a bit not good. I mean, the Albion's obviously the one that's going to be like a forward UK like AI regeneration because it's just football and demolitioner and I mean the Albion Party. I know the Albion Party is not going to register. I don't know what the Phoenix Party is. Who's in it?
I don't know.
Like? Is it?
I believe
Is
it
it?
is Monkey Mo 8
Michael
leading.
Rothschild has
Oh my
finished
god!
up his
Yeah.
statement.
I mean,
What a barn, am I right? What a barn.
if that registers, mate, we're done.
It feels his statement is from a very Ford-esque period of time. Nothing really modern, no new ideas, and quite lackluster for,
I think people need to
House of
start to
Commons are
forget
really
forward.
urging
It's in the
for an
past.
early day motion to
I mean,
election.
do you know anyone in the Phoenix Party like who actually like apart from Monkey MO8,
I don't know anyone else. No.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. I mean, Monkey M08 is someone who was clowned in 2 sessions because they could not sit down and be silent. I mean, it's really not that hard. Just don't touch the keyboard. I'm doing
Yeah,
it now.
I think. I think we have to remember the time when Jam 144, 1443, and Davos and some other figures attempted to start the Socialist Party. They found it incredibly tricky, and they were some names in politics.
I remember that.
Football, Demolitioner, these people aren't even names at all. Monkey Moe 8 is just a joke. I don't think that these parties would ever be able to form.
No, I don't think. I don't think they will. I mean, I don't think the Phoenix Party will be able to form. Is it? They don't get enough people to form. I don't think Albion will get enough because I think EC will just deny them because they're obviously Persian and George Godsend affiliated. So you can't let them in again. So they're not going to get registered, I doubt. And if they do by some miracle, then they'll get about 2 votes probably.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Poke. Your
You're welcome.
opinion's been very thoughtful. We may see you on later this evening. Thank you very much. We will see Friedrich VI next to talk about some of his former colleagues trying to make new parties tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much, Poke. Friedrich, VI, are you there? Goodness. Hello? Hello.
While we wait for Friedrich, we've got Alexander Arden, former Home Secretary, currently speaking. And he is referencing the fact that the debate was formed around regarding the thought that because for the Ford Party was a major, the biggest amount of seats in the House of Commons, they think that a mandate is almost attacked because of their seats being deregistered, meaning that part of the electorate has had their votes taken away from them, which is why an early general election should be called to sort of re-establish the mandate. However,
I think he does make a fairly valid argument there, but
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how the unionists and the government bench sort of quash it, and we'll see that maybe from HRH is now speaking.
to be honest, I haven't actually heard any direct counters from the government benches yet in regards to why a general election
Just a bit of
should
waffle
not
about
be called.
Albion, really. Well, without saying Albion, but
Okay, can we bring Friedrich up or?
I think he might have left.
No, he's put his hand back up.
Right,
Let's get him in the barn, eh?
as they say.
Hello, hello. Can you guys
Hello,
hear me now?
Friedrich. How are you doing this
Welcome
evening?
back.
Perfect. I am doing fantastic. I appreciate you guys having me back.
It's brilliant to have you back on, Friedrich. How have you been over the past 24 hours? It's been quite mayhem, I must.
It really has been quite mayhem. It's been very intense. But I'm not glad that Forward UK is gone, but I'm glad that the suffering is over. I'm ready to move on.
Well, what's next for you then? Is it Albion? Is it Phoenix? Is it one of the real parties? What's going on?
So, as one of the only leadership members, apart from another colleague of mine who has stuck with the last official narrative of Forward UK, I've moved to the Pirate Party.
Oh yes, of course. Yes, you brought it up yesterday. And how's it going in the Pirate Party? Obviously we saw today members within the Pirate Party really pushing for an early election. Do you think it's the right move?
Part of me thinks it is a right move, considering that there is 15 seats that are up for grabs at the moment, with a possible by-election coming soon. That's 15 seats that are not being represented by anybody. So that does make me seem like it is a good idea, but the other part of me thinks that it isn't a good idea because we need to. This country needs stability. And much like the Forward UK Party, calling this early general election, I don't think would do much for stability. I can see both sides of it,
Well,
really.
we see.
I think for a pirate perspective, a general election would be good on you, don't you think? You've got the movement right now. You were able to catch up to Unionists, become the joint second biggest party. Kind of absurd for the Pirate Party. It's never had that good of an election result, and with Forward gone, it sort of seems like it's ready to overtake and take first place.
I agree. I agree with that. I do think that the Pirate Party is in a great position to win this general election if it does pass and it is called early. Um, like you said, I liked your analogy earlier. The Unionists, their barn is burning down. Obviously the whole Michael thing, which I must say is a huge tragedy and is a very low blow for whoever initiated that. But there's infighting happening inside the party. And, infighting is something that you do not want to have when a general election is called. So I definitely think that the Unionists and the coalition as a whole is in a very weak position at the moment. So if this general election is called, I must say I do not see that the Unionists doing well
Yeah,
in
well,
it.
we've definitely seen a rise in pirate members, but a slight dip off in unionist members. It
Interesting.
almost.
So we've got Draco coming up now for his maiden speech in this house. Well, his maiden speech this term. Oh no, we're speaking to someone who
I have to be
I have
honest. Who is
absolutely no
this?
idea who that is.
Who is
Who is
that?
it?
Is that the chairman that we have no clue who is?
No, I
Who's the
think it might be
former?
No,
Xbox
he's not an
Formula One
executive.
actually.
It
Is
could
Xbox Formula
be.
One?
I don't know who that is. I'm
No,
afraid.
it's not Xbox Formula One. Who the hell is that?
Political discussion or some comment. If you could let me know who that is.
Yeah, can someone in political? It's Red White Foxer. That is who it is.
He's
Former national member,
former national
very
member.
loyal to ZC
He's just
Investor until
been
recently.
appointed EMS minister.
He has. He defected from Forward UK
Mm.
to EMS. I don't know about you, but I'm seeing a very common trend in the
It's the forward
Unionist Party right
defects.
now.
It's
It's a
really
lot of
weird.
Forward UK defects.
And
It is very weird.
we saw.
They do seem to be flocking to the Unionist Party, and I'm going to tell you why. My theory is you've got a party which was built off going against the Unionist Party. They've then essentially been proven to. These are junior politicians, starting politicians that have been told the Unionist Party always have power, the Unionist Party, we need to take them down. And when Forward fails, it almost seems to them that the only way to progress in this group is the Unionist Party. It's like it's been drilled into them from birth. So they've all flocked over.
And we saw the Unionist Party board approve the merger between Forward UK and the Unionists. So
That is
there's
true.
some relation there. It was sort of Persian's dying wish to get that merger through. God knows why, for a party that hates each other. But maybe that's sort of just a facade, the face to the public. But really, they're a bit closer than that.
I
I
agree.
mean, you do remember there was
I agree.
I think under maybe 3 or 4 terms ago, there was a big thing about I'm going to put this in quote marks, like deep state group chat, which involved ZC Investor Persian and then some other figures. I'm trying to remember who it was. I think it was some people from the Pirate Party, maybe Unionist Party. There's always been like a cross link between
Okay, we
the
now have the
ZC.
Attorney General speaking. Script members, what a start.
Very much a start.
Yeah, so Friedrich, in regards to the Albion Party and Phoenix Party, how do you think they're going to end up?
I don't think I agree with Poke. I don't think they're going to get registered in time.
Oh,
Even if they do, I think the EC, the Attorney General, has stated that he is undecided on the matter.
he is a unionist, I'm pretty sure.
No,
Correct.
he is sitting as a pirate, isn't
Pirate,
he?
yeah, that's
Oh,
sort of the camp that
right,
we thought was gonna be, you know, going either way.
right.
To be
So
completely honest, I thought he was going to be taking up Lord Chancellor, but it
I,
seems Sean stepped up and
I
he's
wouldn't have
taken
thought a
Attorney
front
General.
bencher to be the one to sort of go against perhaps the, government line here. Very interesting. You know, everyone else
But
seems to have
we
very
do know this
firm
isn't
stance.
necessarily unheard of,
Mm.
as we do know Draco Octavius has previously resigned from governments before for disagreeing with the views of which he was enforced upon. As he had a big dispute with the House of Lords in his first term as Lord High Chancellor, which led to his resignation after not too long. I think in that term they went through 4 Lord Chancellors. It is one role that people find tricky to fit. Um,
So he makes a good
But
point. You know, it's that
going
it's sort of he's making the point that the opposition is saying, but the government's refuting. You know, we've got 15 seats that aren't represented. It's bad. It's the largest party gone. But now he's sort of bringing up the government side, which you know, I think it was Harold or Michael said now is not the time for chaos, but
we
you know,
don't necessarily
sort of
know
is a
yet
point of convenience.
whether that disputed view is shared among the whole government barn, because this is the first pirate to speak tonight. There is very high
That's a very
chance
good point.
pirates may be whipping against this
You know,
motion.
is Boston here? Uh,
Boston's in game, yeah, he's
yes, he
sat
is
to the
here.
left of
hmm
Michael. But it'd be great if we could get him on
He
the
hasn't
call.
spoken yet. Maybe he will. We'll see.
Friedrich, could we get your final opinions about how you think tonight's going to play out? How do you think tonight
honestly,
and the next week is
if
going to?
if I had to put all of my money on one spot, it would be that there's going to be a general election, and that you will
When?
see the Pirate Party win. I think the motion will pass
The motion will
tonight.
pass tonight. Wow, that's an interesting.
I
That's
agree.
ambitious,
I
definitely.
I can see it. Well, you've got the government infighting, which means the backbenchers, especially, or maybe even members of the cabinet, probably won't stick with their whips that are coming because they all are fighting against each other. You have a weak coalition that is, you know, and then you've got the opposition as well. I really do think that the motion will pass.
Very interesting take, and it appears voting will be fairly soon, but I think Harold is making a closing remark as leader of the House. We'll listen in.
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much, Friedrich, for your views
Thank
on
you.
that. I think it's time we bring up our next guest. Bush, if you could do the
Yeah,
honors.
sorry.
Thank you.
Oh, it seems like we do have government infighting right now. Harold Rothschild is going to pose a question to the Attorney General.
Hello. Oh,
I
sorry.
believe collective responsibility has gone
It's
out of the
fallen
window
apart.
with
I
this
think it
motion.
has.
A government frontbencher has asked another government frontbencher a question.
To make
Okay,
it a bit more dramatic than that.
Demolitioner 99. That we've got something crazy going on in the comments right now, but I would
Well,
love
I
to ask
can't
you
see
about
because
the
I'm
Albion
banned from the
Party.
game for being in UKFO. So, yeah.
Can I get your thoughts? So you are a member of the Albion Party, is this right?
I'm the vice chair of the Albion
You're the
Party.
vice chair. Who is the current chairman of the Albion Party?
Football.
Football.
Yeah.
And who are you proposing to be the leader of the party?
Well, there are some people who want to run, but we're looking at the options for a leadership election soon.
I see. So, what are your plans in the Albion Party? How do you see this playing out over the next few weeks?
Well, we want to be quite similar to Forward, but we want to improve with scandals. We don't want as many scandals, obviously. We want to be a cleaner, sort of more electable version who take into account what EC says rather than having a 9% deduction.
Electable. I mean, Forward UK won 15 seats. So
Well, they couldn't really
how are you
form a
intending
coalition,
to
so
be
it's kind of useless to have 15 seats and no coalition options.
Forward UK? If you're planning to make a party based off Forward UK, how do you expect to have coalition options? Because I believe the entire government front bench is condemning your formation right now.
Well, they will be for now, but once we're obviously at 16 seats after the next election we're able to run, we're going to be able to have a coalition. People need to have us in a coalition, otherwise we'll be pushed into a four-party, unsustainable coalition, which no one wants.
And how are you intending to gather the lobby the support to get this number of seats in your party?
We have a very good plan. I'm not going to spread the details of it here, but we've got quite a few members already. 38. We'll be at 50 probably by the end of the week, and then we'll register. We need 5 MPs to support us. We have 2, Zacy and iPhone. We're going to need 3 more.
Well, I must say that I don't believe you have as much movement as Forward did, as they made, I think, over 80, maybe 100 members in the first day. So how do you plan on gathering seats similar to Forward? And there's clearly not as much of a desire for you to be the party of choice.
Media don't want to cover us as much as they did with Forward. They're completely against anything new now. And we're going to have to campaign on Westbridge harder. We're going to have to campaign with people we know harder, and it's going to be difficult, but I think we have the ability to do it.
So, sorry to interrupt, but we've been seeing some interesting comments being made in the House of Commons in the sort of closing remarks from the leader of the House, HRH. Firstly, that there will be no by-election, according to HRH. Something, very strongly suggested yesterday, or Friday actually, that a by-election would be taking place by sort of people on the inside of the dissolution of Forward. We've sort of seen the continuing of the argument between Draco and HRH, both government frontbenchers, which is obviously very unique and interesting to see. But we are now moving to a vote, and we will be watching as members vote. See how it goes.
See, I've got a belief that, well, I mean, we will see in the next few minutes, but I believe Boston has whipped this to vote aye on the motion. That's what I'm assuming from what we can see here. And I think that this is interesting because that is a gamble. There's no doubt about it that the Pirates probably will emerge first party in an election, but in the chance that they don't, he has just gambled away Prime Minister, because he would be Prime Minister on Sunday if he didn't whip this vote.
There's almost a fear that from the Pirate Party bench, and then we saw that fear really come to action today with the suggestion that Michael might not have given up PM when they wanted.
I think I had no doubt in my mind that Michael was going to resign this weekend. If I was the Pirate Party, I would be more worried about the Social Democrat Party pulling out of that CNS deal, but with the fact that they're about to go into either a by-election or redistribution of seats, that doesn't matter because they would have a majority again. So Boston has just gambled away the premiership.
Boston's saying no. Boston is saying Pirate no in a
Pirate no.
Yep, Pirate no in the House of Commons. They
that
might
seems
not get
like the motion will
it's
fail
not
there.
Looking very strong.
He says Pirate no, but he's walking into the I chamber. Boston Man 18 has sat in the I chamber.
Are you sure about that one?
Yeah. Go and look in the I chamber. The no chamber is solely Unionist plus Draco Octavius. Draco is the only pirate member to be in the no chamber.
We have got a packed I chamber. We've got 1, 2,
this
3, 4,
has
5,
passed. This motion has definitely passed.
No, it's 2/3. 2/3 is a big.
Okay, you count. I can't know.
17 ayes apparently. Compared to
7 in no. Is that 2/3? I don't think it is.
7 in no. This is going off someone's random comment, which if it is 17 ayes, that is a pass with 70.8% of the votes.
Tonight we may very well be going into another election.
General election. Wouldn't this be exciting? Live on air.
Right, Demolitioner 99. I've got
17.
Yeah. One final thing for you. Do you think that you will be able to gather 50 members before an election begins? Because it seems like we
We've
may
got
have an election
We've got
starting
an
in
early
20
election.
hours.
It's
Well, it
happening.
depends on how quickly the Unionists and Pirates mess up. You know,
Must
if it
be
messes
done.
up
Oh,
tonight,
no.
It's
Demolition of 99, they've just passed the motion. There will be an election in
It's
24 hours.
71%.
well,
The
you
maths
know,
has been done. It
those
doesn't
figures are
lie.
subject to change. It might be 40, it might be 50. As long as we had the 5 MPs to sign the Constitution,
Wow.
we're fine. Great speaking to you, Bush, and great speaking to you, T. Have a good day.
Yeah, thank you very much, Demo.
Shocking news. 2/3 passing this motion is
2/3 have passed the
most
motion.
difficult.
There will be an early general election tonight.
That is up to the PM. That's not necessarily. That's not the law.
Oh, that this
I
I'm
don't know,
pretty
because
sure
this
it
is-
does call an
We've
election.
got an early day motion, not maybe an official motion in that sense, but we would expect Michael at this point to call an early election. Yeah, but, I mean, you're spewing
Can someone actually
technicalities
look
out
at the Can someone actually check the legislation on this?
I had a look earlier. I had a look the other day.
So what do you think happens in regards to
I
the?
would have been fairly confident that there would have been an early election. To suggest this is a non-binding motion is a bit odd.
Termina
Michael's being invited to give a comment, but he has not.
Termina seems to believe that the law says it goes directly to the monarch rather than the prime minister.
The monarch gets sort of a veto in this sense, not a.
I think we're going to bring up
a check
King's Counsellor Zaida, member, I think director of the Britannica Legal Institute,
if he could
give
some
us his
insight.
thoughts on what the law can be interpreted as in this case.
He's been invited to join. If you could look at the General Election Acts 2019, that'd be really quite helpful.
Welcome to the barn, Zaida.
It's a good barn, isn't it?
Can we get your thoughts on how this
Have you
legislation
had a moment to look at the General
interpreted?
Elections Act 2019?
I have, and from what I see, I think it will be an election unless the monarch vetoes, as you said.
I think under that we should have seen a date proposed. I think there was one actually in the motion itself.
Will have to be in over a week.
Over a week, does it say?
I believe. But this puts the EC in a difficult situation, though, aren't they? Because the EC have nothing set in stone yet. So.
No, Michael
he's standing up. The Prime Minister is standing up.
Okay, very important statement to be made here. Let's see what he's got to say. Tense. Wow.
Yeah.
Well.
The only other thing I can think blocking it is if there's a newer act which gives the exclusive right to the Prime Minister.
There is, because that's usually the reference act when it comes to early elections.
Yeah.
My legal knowledge.
I've very limited legal knowledge, isn't it?
Okay, it's like the Casey can sit down.
Well, I'm just saying, I think.
Well,
I just want to know what job he's got that lets him go to Roblox for like an hour.
Okay, there we are.
I think Michael, what he's going to do is he's going to tell people to go outdoors to vote.
Trapped inside all day, you might just want to get outdoors.
No.
I mean, what other choices does the man have than other to call an early election? Well,
I don't know.
Pirates keep the 11-seat minority government going.
The barn has spoken. I think time for the MPs to get back outdoors and start campaigning. I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't you think, Teaspoon?
I don't know where Michael is. He's taken a very long time. His head's off in Cardiff.
Well, he's obviously at the pub typing on his phone.
Yeah, we've got a fact check from Michael G. Theobald that the monarch reserves the right to veto, but Prime Minister has no reference in regards to the passing of an early day motion for a general election.
I've been sent somebody with some weird Chinese name. I mean, very normal Chinese name.
Sorry,
The monarch
Bushman?
reserves the right to disallow any election motion by Parliament. Well, we would be a bit surprised if the monarch made that choice. I'll ask His Majesty.
Call a early general election, I'm assuming.
I think that's what we're thinking.
Bush, can we roll Draco, the State of the Nation?
Yeah, of course. Very interesting one to have on. As someone, vocal against. Yeah, I think we do get the idea. Okay.
Sarge's at the pub.
Draco, you're old. I'm at work right now. Yeah.
British sovereign is in game.
Oh dear God. The king? What? Wait, who?
Who else thinks that the political system is getting shut down?
He's coming in. Parliament's being dissolved. It's gone. It's just gone.
To be honest, I would not be surprised if group staff said, "I'm getting rid of politics," because
you've got to remember
EC under political control.
Group staff running at the EC, they could overrule any regulation the law puts out.
Hey, Michael, maybe
they could say no general election. No. Sid, he can do what he wants.
I'm here to welcome on Draco Octavius.
Oh, so he is talking about Boston Man 18. He said he's calling him a slimy political opportunist.
Shade.
Interesting choice of words.
Draco,
how can you comment on being the only pirate MP present to not eye the motion?
My colleagues voted according to their conscience and their what they felt was in the best interests of the community. I'm not going to criticise them for that. At the end of the day, I followed what my party leader was in the lobby telling me to vote, so I voted that way. But you know what? It doesn't bother me. At the end of the day, it is what it is.
Are you happy going into an election here, or do you think it's going to be unstable for the Pirate Party?
Could you repeat that question again? Sorry.
Are you ready to go into an election? Do you think that the Pirates will come here, or?
Gov's done, mates. The final verse
I
of My
think,
Child. Very unfortunate.
I think that the Pirates are always ready to go into an election. And I think that we are going to go into this election and come out in a much better position than we were when we went into it. So I'm quite happy that the people are going to be a large portion of the community are going to be re-represented again. And that was one of the issues I raised during the debate, is that a large portion of the community are currently without representatives. And at the moment, as far as I know, there's no resolution to that in sight, except for this. So, there's negatives and then there's positives, but I think the positives outweigh the negatives.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely see the Pirate Party try make some moves this election. The sort of motives behind this, from either side are a little unclear because, the party that's predicted to, maybe lose seats or not do as well. The Unionists are, of course, in support of the motion, in supporting of not having an early election, but the party who looks to gain from the election, the Pirates, want an early election. It does sort of raise the question, is this, a question for, confidence in the government, national security, or is it, party politics just all over again?
The Pirate Party is not interested in playing party politics. We're just going to do what's best for the community.
It kind of seems like you did tonight, because you just voted on a motion to take down your own government in regards to an attempt to gain more seats coming out of an election. It was, from my perspective, essentially a gamble from Boston here.
Obviously, and that's your viewpoint, and you're most welcome to it. The point is that my colleagues voted in the way that they thought best to serve the community, and they shouldn't be criticised for that. the point being here is that a large portion of the community are currently unrepresented, and the aim of this motion is to, as one of my colleagues in Parliament said, to reset the House. That's none of the arguments made by either side of the House tonight were untrue, or there are arguments for and against it, and it just seems that the majority of the House attending tonight felt that the arguments for a general election were stronger.
Well, you gotta think, I think we've got to consider there are people who maybe, with their traditional views, they're not necessarily against the general election, they just don't like the idea of it, an early general election. And I think maybe that just scares them a bit, especially when they're in this strong position in government. But I don't know, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out.
Yeah, I agree with you there, I think it was HRH who mentioned, another week of, there not being a proper government, maybe a slightly weaker point, in that sense, not calling
There's
election
still
because it's an
responsibilities
interim
to be carried out.
government, but certainly think,
Speaking of
UK group will be able
HRH, I
to
think it is
manage.
time that we say goodbye to our current guest and speak to him in regard to this just passed motion.
Good day.
Yeah, I think that's a very
Right,
good idea.
thank you very much for the both of you, legal experts on regarding whether or not we were going to see this go to an election. But we'd like to welcome up Harold now to the barn.
Harold, are you there? You're currently on mute.
Yes, hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good to see you again, Harold. How was your afternoon?
Not gone bad.
Not gone bad. That's a interesting comment for a senior member of a party that's just been forced into an early election. What are your thoughts?
I saw this coming a mile away. I'll be completely honest.
I think a lot of unionists will be saying that tonight. And for good reason.
The entire union, the Unionist Party did know that this was coming. We were prepared. We are prepared. The party's on election footing. We're prepared to fight this election, and we will win.
It's always good to hear.
The Pirate Party. I'll be completely honest. I'm completely disappointed in what the Pirate Party have done. I expected much more, much better from them, but that's exactly what's happened. And the Unionist Party won't deal in bad faith with any party ever again.
Are you saying you're unwilling completely to work with the Unionists? Sorry, to work with the Pirates next election.
I'm unwilling. I personally am unwilling to work in bad faith with any party.
Unwilling to work bad faith with any party.
And I will say this myself. I much preferred the way that the National Parties conducted themselves in government, because if this was the plan from the start, if the Pirate Party were in it just for themselves, I will say this: I don't think we should have gone into government with them to start off with, because I'm very disappointed in what the Pirate Party did. And the Pirate Party has been a party that I've liked. It's not been a party that I've hated for a long time, but I saw this coming, and my last hopes have been completely gone. So it is what it is.
I feel like if you had someone who was saying from the start, "Oh, I need PM in 2 weeks. Oh, can we get this PM deal?" That sounds to me like someone who was in it for their own head from the start. They wanted to bring them.
Yeah, Teaspoon, you're right, and I think what it seems to me now is there is a good chunk of the Pirate Party that are just in it for their own victory. They're in it for themselves. You know what's going on in the country right now. There's that new bloody Albion party that's on display. There's plenty of things going on. There is a government that was there, that was ready to govern on the grounds of national security, and the Pirate Party have just decided to go completely in the opposite direction. And I have heard reports that the Pirate Party is warming up to the National Party. And
really interesting.
If that's really the direction they want to go, I for one am completely disappointed. I'm not surprised. And the Unionist Party will work with any party that doesn't negotiate in bad faith and doesn't deal in bad faith.
Now, Harold, we hear that Slip would like to come on to have
Good God.
a bit of a debate on this topic. Would you be interested?
We've got
I go on.
Pogzilla in the background. He hasn't said anything just
Yes,
yet, but
hi.
he is
Hi.
here. So we've got every party here, almost.
Hello, lads.
So we're going to have a small roundtable debate for the rest of this
Go on,
segment
then.
regarding the events of tonight and then the start of an early general election. If Bush can roll Slip for me.
I've just seen a very interesting message.
I'm just
An early election sort of kills the opportunity for any new party to actually get registered.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say to Demolition, but I don't think he really got it. That
What
he
a
has
shame.
24 hours to get 50 members now. He was saying he'd get it by the end of the week.
Mate,
He has 24 hours. That's as
the
much.
Albion Pie can't register, mate. What a shame. I don't know what I'm gonna do, mate. I'm done.
All right, let's bring up Slip.
He is not in the
Be good if we
water
could get a
already.
national on if someone wants to
Well,
talk.
I mean, I'm here, but yeah.
Literally, mate, you're literally talking to one.
Right now, before the entire gang goes on, this is one thing I want to say. If they want to go on and on about them taking prime minister in 2 weeks, it's clear that they're just in it for themselves and they're not in it for the interests of the nation. The government was ready to govern, that we were ready to do things. We were ready to focus on national security. And if that's the direction the Pirate Party has chosen, I don't think the electorate will be kind to them next election. And I'm also, I can't tell whether I should blame Boston Man for this. I don't know whether he's been pressured into it by the rest of his party, but I am very disappointed with a good chunk of the Pirate Party, and the Unionist Party won't deal in bad faith with anyone in the future.
Well, I'm gonna get a drink because this is gonna be good.
Very interesting comment to make, but now I have to, invite SLLP sort of with the rebuttal to that one. If he's there.
Hello, everybody. I think, Harold, you're wrong. We were ready to govern until your party leader broke his promises. It is a matter of principle for us. You do not backstab and snake the Pirate Party. That is a lesson to be learned.
Just clarify for all the viewers out there. What's the betrayal? What's the backstab? What's the broken promise?
JBM promised 2 weeks ago during coalition talks that Boston Man will be PM after 2 weeks. 2 weeks was today, and he instead backtracked on that promise. And thus, Boston Man has acted appropriately.
2 weeks was yesterday, actually.
We do not give in to snakery. JBM was warned that this would happen, and he insisted that we should remain as part of the coalition, even though he broke a core promise to us being in the coalition in the first place, and that is just, quite frankly, unacceptable.
So, Slip, I've got a question for you. Do you think Boston Man here is taking a gamble?
I don't think Boston Man is taking a gamble. It's a matter of principle for the Pirate Party. It was a big gamble for JBM because after what happened yesterday.
I do understand
he had no real
that,
legs to stand on.
I mean, we do know that Michael M. Rothschild had made it very publicly clear he was going to the premiership within the week. So, do you think it is somewhat of a gamble now that
that just
going
wasn't
into an early general election?
He
was going to keep on going.
For 7 days, the Pirate Party have gone into this and they've said, you know what, screw the government, screw the national security goals, screw it all. We just want to get more seats. We want to be prime minister.
It's not a matter of
that's the mindset. That's the mindset that the Pirate Party. That's the mindset. That's the mindset.
Your party leader has betrayed the Pirate Party. He did not keep his promises.
Chunk of the Pirate Party has gone into and coerced Boston Man into believing that is the truth.
No, that is not the truth. We literally have screenshot evidence of this.
Over the past,
we have screenshot evidence of your party leader breaking his promises. I don't know how much you can defend this on.
Since the TBU Barron government, the Unionist Party and the Pirate Party have got on very well together.
We have until today, whenever JBM broke the core promise.
Sean came along, and Sean, he pointed those relations in the opposite direction. You saw how that ended up for the Pirate Party, and I'm telling you, this decision to go against to pretty much go into it for your own good. So you
this
want
is
prime
our own
minister.
good. It's a matter of principle for us.
So if I'm understanding correctly for the viewers, the Pirates were under the impression there was a deal that Prime Minister would be offered up after 2 weeks, but because that didn't happen, the Pirate Party have not withdrawn, but whipped the vote to have this early general election, and then the Unionist Party believed that the Pirate Party was sort of acting in their own interests by doing this whip because they're playing sort of party politics here. Is this kind of the belief of the two of you?
Me, myself, and Michael spoke to Boston Man yesterday, and Boston Man, quite frankly, was willing himself to be prime minister for 5 out of the 8 weeks, and take it was a fair, even deal where they would take prime minister for 5 out of the 8 weeks. We spoke to Boston Man yesterday, and he told us that the Council of Tribunes, I'll get the messages up right now, that the Tribunes literally will do what they want. The Council of Tribunes has decided to vonk him or something, threaten a vonk. That's what I was told. And as a result of that, I believe that there is like a sort of a pirate party sort of. There's a group of pirate party individuals that have pulled the strings on Boston Man and coerced him into making this decision, because I'm fully aware that Boston Man wouldn't have made that decision on his own accord.
I'm not being funny here.
Boston Man is free to listen to whoever he wants to listen to within the party. However, the view of the party was that we have been backstabbed.
Right, okay. The view of the party was to crash an entire government, force all the parties into a general
No, the
election.
view of the party, the view of the Council of Tribunes
they were sour
was
that
to
they
not
didn't get
take
a week of prime minister.
nonsense, really.
Harold,
You're
do you
directly
want me
lying to
find
us,
those,
and that is just quite frankly just.
Could the both of you
just,
send me over your screenshots regarding
just,
each side, just so I can see?
Let me get them here.
Gonna BBC verify this shit.
Yeah, Poke, can I get your neutral opinion here on this little debate? How do you think?
I
what
am
side would
loving
you
this.
take?
I've got a can of cider and I'm drinking it. I've already drunk half of it, mate. This shit is good, man.
Average
Yeah.
social democrat and their
Actually, no, I think what would be interesting, Teaspoon, is to see what the Social Democrat perspective is on all of this. See what they have to say.
Poke, can I see who do you know anything in regards to how Social Democrat leadership have been warming towards different parties, or are they looking to go into a coalition out of this? Or
Personally, I have not got much of a Scooby. I mean, I've got a general sense by being a member and an MP for them, but I don't have any sort of involvement in the hierarchy of leadership nowadays. I can probably guess who. I think they'd be quite open nowadays, Social Democrats, because they've kind of, especially this election, they've kind of settled into the role of a third party, and I think that's a. I mean, this breaking down relations between the pirates and the Union is going to allow like parties like the Social Democrats, like the Nationals, it's going to give them actually like some wiggle room to get to know some of these parties, because parties like the Pirates, the Unionists are not parties that particularly recently, and I think both HH and Slip will both admit this. They're not parties that have historically recently been fond of the Social Democrats. And to be fair, I can't exactly blame them sometimes. But yeah, I mean, it's going to give an opportunity for them, and I think hierarchy will. I think the smartest play here is just basically just let be what is let be, because the Social Democrats are just should fight us as just willing to go with anyone, because realistically, nowadays with this happening, there's no real disdain towards Social Democrats. At least I don't think there is. Obviously, I'm not involved in it massively, but I'm guessing it's not sort of we must go against Social Democrats like there was against and Edward Litton and these people, because they're not as big as a threat as they were, to be honest with you. So, and I think, I mean, I don't know if HOH and Slip will agree, but I think they would both coalition for Social Democrats if it came to that. Personally, I can't.
We've seen them make some membership moves, some improvements. Are they willing to work, with snaky parties? Arguably.
But my party will work with any party that doesn't go around snaking the other.
Well, your party is a snake party, so I don't know if anybody would be willing to work with you, because you have a recent history now of snaking us. Unless a new leader is found within your party, which I believe there is. Hopefully, he's not a snake like JBN.
Well, very interesting there. To to get that social democrat perspective really fully enforced on all levels of leadership, I now invite the hierarchy.
Oh God, why invite him? Maybe we're gonna crushed by the fucking weight of him.
Right,
Oh.
okay, that's enough.
Lovely, and thank you, Poke.
You're so welcome, mate.
Lovely.
You're welcome. Get out.
V, can I get your thoughts on the issues of the day?
We're ecstatic that there's a potential general election coming up. We have been preparing since I became leader, really, for this, and we feel ready for this, to be honest.
And the oh so important question: who are you willing to work with at the end of the general election?
I got asked this in interview this morning with Britain Today.
Well,
we're keeping our cards close to our chests right now. We're not disclosing anything to regards to a coalition at the moment.
Well, how about this? If I pose a different way, do you actually want to go into a government come this term? Because I know you were interested in sitting in opposition for the term. Is that the same view, or do you think a government could be possible going into this next election?
Yeah, the reason I originally withdrew from the coalition at the start of my leadership is because we were the third minority partner in the coalition. We'd absolutely be in government if we could be the majority and/or first minority coalition partner. So the answer to that is yes.
And what are your views on the current pirate unionist dispute and their little debate here?
That's ultimately up to them, to be honest. I have deep respect for both Michael and Boston as leaders. I spoke to both of them, and I gave my sincerest congratulations to Michael for everything he has achieved as leader, prime minister. Since I've been in this community, he's been the unionist leader ever since I joined. So, huge congratulations to him for that.
That does kind of appear to me that you haven't been in the community that long then. So how does that feel being...
No, I haven't. I joined the community last year under Cam Cathcart as the social democrat leader, sort of towards the end of summer. So I can't say I've been in particularly very long.
So how does that make you feel being sort of like somewhat of a newbie among the leaders? I'd say most of them are quite experienced as of current.
I don't think it's particularly negative. I think it's sort of time for fresh voices, and I've made that evident in my leadership. That it is time to sort of move on to the next generation of politicians and leaders, and I think I represent the beginning of that.
Very interesting. Anyone, across the very large panel, we've got anything to say, anything to add to that?
Well, I think the Pirate Party would be willing to work with anyone that doesn't have a history of snaking us, to be honest. So I think that might rule out the unionists in its current form, but we will have to see how things play out on their side throughout the next couple of weeks.
I think this makes for a very interesting dynamic. No party really closing many doors. Maybe one being closed between the unionists and the pirates, but even then, that's it's not shut all the way.
Yeah, the door's not completely shut, but the Unionist Party won't work with any party that has decided to crash a government. So.
Right. Okay. Well, it might be a bit of a closed door then.
If we want to work with any party, we want to serve for the full 2 months.
That's completely
and
understandable.
we don't want a government to be pulled down over some petty dispute.
I would argue that isn't a petty dispute. It was pretty much the whole reason we formed a coalition in the first place, and it's a major promise that was just not kept. And we have our own principles to adhere to, and thus this is why we have taken the action we have taken.
7 days.
It's not over 7 days, it was 2 weeks, and he continued to... Well, no, the agreement was 2 weeks. It doesn't matter if he wants to extend it by 7 days or not, because he backtracked on his promise.
7 days.
It doesn't matter if it's 7 days or not, it's another 7 days extra above what he promised.
7 days.
I don't know why you keep repeating 7 days. It's clear as day that he backtracked on his promise.
Actually, I'd say it'd be 14 days till a new government will be in force, actually. Interesting.
Well, we've got Michael G. Theobald on as well now, for whatever reason. Have you got any comments to make, Michael? Any perspectives that we maybe...
Why have you got to violate a man like that, bro?
Sorry, apologies. Mark, are you there?
No, obviously not.
No, I don't think he's
No,
that.
no, I'm not hearing anything. Well then,
That's a
any
shame.
concluding remarks
What a shame.
before we call it a day there?
Okay,
I
concluding
think-
remark is my party is ready for the elections.
No, your party's not. Your party is a snake
My
party. Join the
party is
Pirate
ready.
Party.
My party,
The party with
my
principles.
party is
We
ready
are
for the
free to
elections.
stand on.
My party is ready to win.
Your party
Join
is
us.
the snake party. Your party
Join
is
us
not
to
ready to
win.
win.
Join us to win.
Your party doesn't even have a stable leader.
Join us to win.
No, join you to lose.
Join us to win. Literally, join us to win.
I hear the Unionist Party are giving out free snakes if you join them, so it sounds about right.
HRH, can you just before we go, are you running for leader? Are you going to be the next leader of the party? What's going on?
Now that an election has been called, I'll serve as leader throughout the election
Okay.
because Michael doesn't have the time to be leader. He recently went to hospital over meningitis, so it's not his. I'm sure he would have been more than willing if that wasn't the case. But I'm telling you now, we will win. I'm prepared to get this party to win.
And once you've won, are you intending to stay on as
Ambitious.
Prime Minister, go in the leadership election?
Well, I said once you win. That's crazy, now.
Sorry. If you win, if you win,
No. I
would you
agree with the initial
stay
statement.
on?
Once
Would you
we
do the
win,
election?
once we win, yes, we will win.
So if
You
you
won't
won, you would run for leader of the Unionist Party.
Probably, most likely.
Why can't the Unionists have a leader before the election? Why would we vote for the Unionists if
It's
we
kinda
don't
right,
even know who the leader
Chelsea.
will be during the term?
I will be the leader after the election. Does that give you some satisfaction?
Well, can you actually fully commit to that today? That you will
Yes,
not
I will
host
commit to
other
that.
elections
I will-
following the election?
Independent and exclusive.
I will commit to that today. Yes, of
Okay,
course. I'll
that
commit to
is fine. It still doesn't give anyone a reason why they should vote for you. They should all vote for the Pirate Party.
No, they should vote for us.
No.
We've got stability. We served a lovely 2-month.
Well, you didn't have
government with the
stability
National
yesterday.
Party.
What happened today?
We
So,
served
Harold,
we served a
you would
lovely
be
a lovely
committed to
2-month
running
government
for leader.
with the National Party. You know, we've got our priorities done. We have a very knowledgeable team. We're more than prepared for the elections. Michael and the diplomatic team, the foreign secretary, we got into P5 just yesterday. And that's all there is. You vote for the Unionist Party, you'll get more successes like that.
If you vote for the Pirate Party, you will get people that stand on principle, stand on business. We stand on business.
We stand on business and we do
No,
business.
you do not stand
and
on
win,
business. You have
and we
broken a
win,
promise.
and we win. We win, and we win.
You got two more votes than us last election. I wouldn't necessarily call that winning.
Yeah, this election there'll be a good chunk more between the two.
We will see, because we went from the fourth largest party to the second largest, nearly the first largest party, just off by 2 votes. So just let that be a warning for what's to come, maybe.
Okay, I think we might be
that's a
done
good
there.
note.
Anyway, join the Pirate Party.
Join the Unionist Party.
Thank you very
No,
much.
don't do that.
everybody. That has been
Just for social media coverage, so we don't get done by Ofcom. Join the Social Democrats, join the National Party.
What he really means is join the Unionist Party.
that has been
No, what he
the
really means is
Independence.
the Pirate Party is going to lead
That has been the Independence
Ofcom
coverage
forward.
of the early day motion, the successful early day motion to call a general election. Thank you very much to my co-host T4 Spawn. Thank you to the many guests we've had on tonight, and I hope we all have a very good evening.